What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to try something a little bit different. I love making decks, but something else that I really love are splits, and customizing cards in Marvel Snap is such a cool part of the game. I love collecting cards. I love making neat splits, so Character Mastery that recently came out has been super exciting. Chance to go through and pick all new effects, all new splits for my cards. And I hope all of you are really enjoying it too. So today I wanted to do a Character Mastery splits tier list and rank them. Thought it could be a fun way to acclimate myself with the splits, let everybody else, give their thoughts, and just give some different reactions to all the flares and finishes that came in this Character Mastery update. So, got a little tier list here. And we can pretty much start out right away with bananas, since bananas are the big topic that everybody's talking about. Very prevalent. They're super common split to get. I kind of just consider these to be the foils and prisms, essentially. You would split those and then not really ever use them. Same with bananas. There's a handful of cards that it might be cool with. Hitmonkey, and then maybe some joke cards, but I made my own banana tier here because I don't even feel comfortable ranking them anywhere but D otherwise. They get their own tier. They're bananas. They're controversial. They're possibly unsavory. We just want to give them their own tier right there. Next up, I've got Bubbles Flare. Bubbles Flare, my overall problem with the flares in this Character Mastery update, for the most part, that are effects coming down the screen, like bubbles, snowflakes, there's just not enough of those elements. There's like 3 bubbles at any given time. It's almost hard to see that or the snowflakes. Some water cards, it looks okay on. Overall, I think a C. Might even bump that down to a D eventually. Black Prism Finish. These new Prism finishes are interesting. Some of them I just don't feel like very differentiate themselves from the old Prism. Black Prism's cool because it actually, you can tell that it's very different. I haven't found a ton of cards that I like the way it looks on yet. For now, I'm going to throw it in B just because it's such a different looking effect, and I like when things stand out from the norm. Copper Metallic is actually pretty underrated, I think. It's a low unlock, so it's common and you'll see it a lot, but I found a lot of cards that it actually goes really well with. I don't know if I'm comfortable enough putting it in the A category. I'm going to put it there for right now, and we'll come back to that. I definitely have a lot of cards that look good with copper, and especially since I can pair it with the copper border, not bad. Neon Trails, I'm thinking C tier right now. Just don't look amazing. I do like that they come from the middle of the card, which a lot of flares are on the outside. So that's a neat aspect going for it, but just not a lot of practical places to put it, I've found so far. Cosmic Finish. I don't know. There's a lot of movement in the Cosmic Finish, which is cool. I wouldn't like it if it was static. But I just don't, there's a ton of cards in this game that already have cosmic backgrounds, so it just isn't that exciting to me. I think I'm going C tier for now. Then we've got Cosmic Flare, which I do think is cooler than the Cosmic Finish. I like stuff on the outside of the cards. I don't like that the tone flare is there because it kind of makes it seem like just any other tone flare. But I'm going to go B category. So, for sets like the Ember set and the Raze set, I only put 1 instance here because they're pretty much the same. There's only 3 Embers right now. I like the Embers because they've got that cool effect when you first start up the card, and I'll show you that later on in the video whenever I show you some of my favorite splits from Character Mastery so far. So I think it's actually a pretty cool effect. It's a particle effect that has a ton of particles in contrast to bubbles and snowflakes. So I do like the Embers. I think a B tier is where I'm looking right now. Fire Finish. I'm going to pull the Water Finish too. These are rarer effects, and I think they look awful. The it looks like a low quality JPEG that they then put a wave effect on. It doesn't look like fire. The water effect doesn't look like water. There's a little bit of movement, but I think both of these are really bad, and I hope that they get an overhaul to match like some of these cool flares on the outside, like Wakandan finish and Galactic Storm, Cosmic. Like, they look so dynamic and they look like real effects, and fire and water just aren't doing it for me. So lowest tier that I can go. Foil metallic finish. This, even though it says it's metallic, every time I see it on a card, I don't feel like it actually looks metallic, like the gold metallic, silver, copper. I think it's pretty rough. I would almost never pick this. There's so many better options. So I'm going to go D tier for foil metallic. Frosted glass is about a tier above that. I found a couple cool cards that it looks nice on. Lady Sif looks really good with frosted glass. It doesn't show enough of the background for me to really use it. I like to have my finishes blend a little bit into the background, integrate it, or in some other way alter the card art. And frosted glass doesn't usually, but sometimes it can look nice, depending on the variant. Galactic Storm, I'm going A tier. There's a lot going on inside the finish. It looks pretty cool. It's a higher rarity finish, and I think looks way better than fire or water in that aspect. So I'm gonna stick that in A tier. Then we've got Galactic Storm. I'm tempted to put this in S tier. I really like the Galactic Storm. I wish it went a little bit further outside the card. I would love to ever match it with the Galactic finish, but it seems like that's impossible. There's so many split combinations. Let's go A, and we'll check at the end and see where we want to put it. Gilded Prism, C tier. Most of these prisms just don't look distinct from each other. I think Gold Prism, these just look so similar to each other, slight color differences. Depends on your card and variant where you want to put them. But I find the prisms just, they take up too much of the background. They're kind of gaudy. Not a big fan. Glass circuits, I'm going to stick in the A tier. I think that the glass circuit look is so cool because it actually goes over top of the foreground object, and it's not just a background. I have it on Nebula. I have it on Nimrod. I think it looks super cool on those. There's not as many applications, but any robot type, character, I think galactic circuits or glass circuits is a cool finish. Then we've got Gold Diamond Flare, which I think also I'm going to put in the D tier. It is the level 30 unlock, and they just dropped the ball. It's a weird clipping effect whenever the flare comes in and out. People have said they look like Doritos. I agree. And for such a difficult effect to obtain, I'm ranking it even lower because make it look better. Make it be exciting to get. There's some of these effects I would much rather have than the Gold Diamond Flare. Gold Metallic Finish is one of my favorites from this new set. I've always felt that the gold that used to be one of the highest tiers, gold and ink, the gold looked so weird, especially once they updated it to show more of the background. It's just like a pale gold and just not impressive. But this Gold Metallic Finish has such a cool textured effect. It's just fun moving the cards around and seeing that. I think that it's like the new default gold, if I have it, that I want to put on cards, other than the old gold. I'm gonna go S tier. Then we've got Wakandan Tech Flare. I also really like these. These are such cool flare effects. Just different, and Crackle for the longest time was the chase flare effect, and it's nice to have a couple more that are dynamic, go far outside the card art. And I do like this. I think I'd put purple up there too. Probably should have combined those into one, but I really think it's nice to have new things that aren't just Crackle blasting outside the card. Psychedelic Finish. It's a low rarity card effect, but I think that there's a lot of cards that look really cool with the psychedelic. It has like a nice fluid, fast motion that I enjoy. And I think it's worthy of A tier, possibly B, but we're going to stick with A tier for now. There's not a ton of application, but when it's looking good on a card, it really is looking good. Then we've got Rainbow Confetti Flare. This is probably D tier. I found maybe 2 cards that it looks cool on, but the particles, there's a decent number of them. It's too goofy. It's almost in the bananas category for me. The raise sets, these are pretty prevalent. I'm thinking B tier. I know that people don't like the raise, and I know that there's definitely issues with, seizure inducing, but I know that they're going to hopefully address that by slowing it down, and people won't have issues with them. But I think that there's a lot of cards that look great with the raise. They kind of make them look like old vintage movie posters. I've got a couple of my favorite cards that I had inked and crackle on that I actually took off just to put base raise on, because such a cool look. And I'll show you one of those with Howard the Duck a little bit later. I'm going to skip around here a little bit and go to the Snowflakes Flare. I'm going C tier. There's not enough snowflakes, but there's enough cold cards in this game that look okay with the snowflakes, so we'll go C tier. Steel Metallic, I think it's a solid B, maybe A, but for now we'll go with B. I do like the metallic effects overall. They look great when you're shifting the cards around. Wakandan Glass is going to be an A tier for me as well. It looks basically as good as the Glass Circuits finish, just a different style, and it's a high rarity, so you're not going to see a ton of it, but we'll move it up there for now. We're going to adjust this at the end. And then, in my opinion, I think save the best, one of the best for last, maybe top 2, put it right after Gold Metallic, is Refraction. Refraction is such an amazing effect. It takes, in my opinion, the top spot for what I put on a card when I don't have any other crazy effects, and I just want my card to look different from the base. And I'll show you an example, but it just makes the entire card pop. And it's like, if you've ever played Balatro, it's like Polychrome effect. I love the way that it dynamically changes the card, and I'll constantly be playing around in game and messing with my refraction effects when that's what I put on a card. And I can't wait for further splits in the future when I can mix and match refraction with great flares. Because for now, I only have refraction as a base, as my finish without any flares added to it. So that's where my tier list is setting up. I made this public on Tier Maker, and I'll put the link in the description. So go ahead and try your own, and let me know what you think of my tier list. Let me know what you think of the overall rankings and what you like out of Character Mastery, what you don't like, and just give your thoughts, because I think it's a cool system, and I do think it has a long way to improve as well. So I'm excited for the changes, and let's take a look at some of my favorite cards in Character Mastery so far. So here's my Nebula. This is, I was telling you about the Glass Circuits. You can see on Nebula, she's actually getting reflections from the Glass Circuits. It kind of puts an overall filter color effect on top of the card, which I think is super cool. Then this is Howard the Duck. I have a super cool split with Howard the Duck that I normally had with Crackle and Inked. But this black and white with the Noir Duck just looks awesome. I know people don't play Howard the Duck, but I do. It's in my favorite deck, my Moonstone, Miss Marvel, Mr. Fantastic combo deck. And Howard's just looking cool here. Then this is the one effect that I put Rainbow Confetti on, the one card. I happened to mix it with a copper background, and I don't know. It works okay on goofy cards, I guess. I just wanted to give an example. So this is my favorite example of refraction. So it's just refraction on this Invisible Woman, but you can see just how cool it looks all throughout the card. And with her being invisible, it's just a really neat effect. And if I go in and adjust this card, to show you what it looks like without anything. This is the card, moving it around. And then when you put on the refraction, just beautiful. Love it. Mr. Fantastic, rocking a psychedelic effect here. Anytime I have cards with really cool colors in this combination, I think it's fun to put this psychedelic effect on. Ink Pulp is great for that, and some of the Vincenzo variants, but I like psychedelic. I wanted to include one example of bananas. So Venom banging his fork and knife on the table, bananas in the background, and I happen to have this one mixed with a Galactic Storm around the edge. So I'll probably never actually use this, but sometimes bananas can be silly and okay. This is one of the other combinations that I have that I thought was neat. This frosted glass in this cool looking Lady Sif with snowflakes coming down. And then I just added on the red snowflake border that have been sitting in my collection with nowhere to really use them. Yeah, I like this one. It's cool with the sigil, blends in. Then we've got Storm, the Galactic Storm flare on the background. One day I hope that in this beautiful Flaviano Storm variant that I love, that I can get a Galactic Storm, Galactic finish all on the same card. But for now, the outside will have to do. This Iron Man is one of my 4 cards that I have at 30 character mastery, and I happen to get a really cool gold metallic finish with a Fire Embers flare. You see the effect happen again. Comes up from the bottom of the nameplate. Just think it's really cool. One of my favorite variants in the game now. This is an example of, very fittingly, the gold Wakandan tech flare on this Black Panther variant. I love the gold interacting with the gold outline on the card here with the Midnight Suns variant. This is another glass circuits on this Nimrod with a Rainbow Cosmic border on it. Like I said, mostly on robot cards, it looks good, but I just love how it affects the whole card and not just the background on this finish. And then ending with a really cool split on this Galactus comic book cover. I play Galactus a lot, I enjoy the card, and having a psychedelic background with this Wakandan tech flare for now is my preferred go-to. I do have a couple different crackle finishes with gold and ink, but yeah, I'm digging it. I think it's fun. So that's the video. Let me know what you think. Like I said, check out the tier list, make your own rankings, and let me know what you want to see come to the future of character mastery. I think people have big opinions right now, but it's still a young system, and Second Dinner has shown the ability to iterate and make changes. So I think there's a bright future for the system, and looking forward to seeing all your splits and hearing about your rankings too. So thanks for checking it out, and check out some of my other videos after this. Subscribe if you can, like, comment, whatever you want to do, and I have another video to you soon. Later.